Yo, yo, yo. What is the deal? What's the deal? Yeah, live from the porch. We are on the porch. Let me make sure I'm straight. All right, we good. Yeah, man. Back for another one. Sent the link still up in lockdown on the Facebook joint or whatever. So you know, what I mean, I can't share too much, whatever. But the message will always be televised and still gonna be there. We still gonna chop it up. Still working with my IT guy to get some stuff straight, but we still gonna rock and roll or whatever and do what we need to do, man. But man, I had to talk about man this situation, man. That I mean, I've been seeing it for a while, but it just popped up. And sometimes it be those situations when something really egregious just happens, and just be like, man, I got to speak on it because it's just crazy, man. And I talked to a couple folks, you know what I mean, just you know what I mean, on some regular, degular, schmegular stuff about it or whatever, man. So I was like, man, I had to go in with it because everybody got a different perspective, man. But we got to talk about these buying these bottles in the club and just spending money and doing all this stuff for these gypsy Jezebels, man. Like, it's always a gray area, man, and everybody's gonna have a different perspective of like what is acceptable and what is not. Now, everything ain't across the board right or wrong. Everybody has their own get down on how they want to do things. You feel what I'm saying? But you got to know the pros and cons of your actions and your decisions that you make. You feel what I'm saying? And some people don't realize the decisions that they making and what's the consequences that can happen, good or bad. You feel what I'm saying? So some people will just go out and buy bottles because they just want some attention and not realizing that they ain't going to tell you what type of attention may come your way. It could be good attention and it could be bad attention. You get what I'm saying? And so I want to break it down or whatever from my perspective because again, I am not a expert. You get what I'm saying? Move this down a little bit. Okay, I'm not an expert. You feel what I'm saying? But I can only just tell you from my perspective. You get what I'm saying? What I see coming from a person that has bought bottles in the club, um, and a situation where been looking at people that have bought bottles in the club and how they've reacted and how they've treated people, and being on the side of a situation where I done took some bottles from people, or I've seen people getting bottles taken from them, or I've seen things line up negatively after the club is over with those people that bought them bottles because somebody may be looking at them like, oh, well, they got money and they, want to see what's up with them outside after the club. Some people don't think about that. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna just break it down from my perspective. Whatever. First of all, you know what I mean. I ain't into the whole buying bottles thing. I don't even buy drinks in the club. You know how I feel or whatever about us living in a capitalistic world and they just trying to make money off of us. You feel what I'm saying? Now, again, I'm not saying you can't do what makes you feel good and happy and all that. Um, but from my perspective, I don't need to buy bottles in the club or do this, do that to make myself happy or have a good time. Now, maybe on some special celebration shit, like it has to be a really, really big celebration or like something really remarkable going on in my life. Not even for my birthday, whatever, but it was like, what I mean, something like I got something planned or whatever next in a couple years where I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna do it big. I might, splurge one time, but I can't do that on a regular basis. I know people, I've seen people that do that on a weekly basis or monthly basis. You feel what I'm saying? They're doing it on a regular that they feel like, okay, well, that's their standard that they have to keep up with. And I'm like, if that's what you want to do, then cool. But that ain't for me. I think it's a waste, but whatever. Um, but yeah, I mean, it does feel good, whatever, when in that section, you got bottles, you got people looking at you, the tension or whatever, and all that or whatever. But um, I mean, some people react to it differently. Some people let it get to them and, pump their ego up or whatever. And some people can just be chill with it, whatever. Just be like, okay, it's nothing, just regular shit or whatever. So, it depends what type of person you are. But for me, I don't, I'm not that type of person. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type of person where if I do it, I'm just like, yo, all right, it's just some regular shit or whatever, because I've been there and done that. I don't need to get hype on it. I don't need to rally up a bunch of people so we can get the section so we could show off and stunt and, get a bottle. Some of these people, and it's like, man, listen, you got to live within your means. Don't be doing that stuff or whatever if it's like you got to rally up 8 or 10 people to get one bottle. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it just ain't for you, whatever. You feel what I'm saying? And it's just like, yo, if you want to just go to the club, have a good time, you could do that, whatever. Um, it is what it is. Also, from my perspective, I know that there are women that go, Gypsy Jezebel, bedwenches, that go to the club in search of looking at dudes that got tables to get some free drinks or sit in a section and be lit and go on their IG and do all the TikTok dances and all that nonsense or whatever. That's just what they do. Some dudes go and see these girls or whatever and be like, oh, I got a chance or whatever. So, get the drinks or whatever, get the drink flowing. I got a chance to smash. You feel what I'm saying? It's understandable. Some people have a false sense of reality where they feel like, okay, just because they got a section or they got a table or they got these bottles, this automatically gonna win them over with the Gypsy Jezebel bitch. And it's not. Might work sometimes, but nothing works all the time. But it's just like, when it doesn't work, it looks really bad and it's real crazy. And not only did it not work, but you lost out on, well, you spent a bunch of money and just doesn't look like a good return on investment. Um, so it's just crazy to just see that from both sides, where you see some girls just be hobos and thirsty to be all up in these sections or whatever, and begging for drinks and all this stuff. And it'd be also sad to see some of these dudes begging for attention from these girls and doing anything to get some attention from them, including spending out their means or getting them drinks or do whatever the case may be, whatever. And them girls ain't really feeling. They just there for taking advantage of you during that time period. And it's crazy to see that, dudes don't even be seeing that. Their situational awareness is very low. So it's just crazy, man. But and this girl, I mean, bottles, I'm the area I'm in. I'm in DC, so girls have jobs or whatever, or they got dudes that give them money, whatever. So it's girls that be buying, they get their tables or whatever too. Now they might not like it or whatever because women don't like to spend their own money, but they can do it and they have been doing it. So dudes got to stop thinking that, oh yeah, well, you know what I mean, like that's the it thing, whatever, that's gonna get them over the hump. It's not, because women can get tables too, and they have been doing it, and they are doing it. So, just get that out the way. Now, I gotta explain to you the story, the situation that happened when I was at the park last week or whatever. So, I'm over there minding my business or whatever. You know what I mean? It's a good night or whatever. And sometimes when it's not a packed night, you have certain spots or whatever that are reserved for sections or whatever that don't get taken up. Or like somebody might get the table, whatever, ain't show up, or they did get the table, they was in there for a little bit, whatever, and then they done and they leave. So we was up in an empty section, whatever. So we over there chilling, you know what I mean? We cooling, mobbing, whatever. So my folks over there with me, and then a couple chicks over there, little Gypsy Jezebels, whatever, right? So they come over there talking, say fishing, because they fishing, and it's almost time to leave about it. It's probably like 30 or 45 minutes before the joint's about to close, right? So they fishing, whatever. So, what I mean? They must not have been getting the love that they've been wanting from dudes in the club, because women be in competition, not only with other girls, but just in general with anybody if they feel that they need to have the limelight on them or the attention. It could be man, woman, whatever the case may be. If somebody else is getting more attention than them, they feel some type of way, and then they want to be in competition and do certain stuff to draw the attention to them. So they'll start doing crazy shit. They'll start twerking with each other. They'll, start doing this and doing that. And then when it's not going their way, they want to sit and pout and, complain. And it's sad to see, but that's just how it is. Gypsy Jezebels, their main priority is getting attention. So, they want to be getting seeked by the that got the money and doing this and doing all that or whatever, or ones that they scoping out that they look like they want to get at or whatever, but they want them to get at them. They want the dudes to get at them. You know what I'm saying? So they'll see like, oh, this dude right here, I want him to holler at me. And then they'll, creep over to you, whatever, and they may put themselves in position to wait for you to make a move. You see it all the time, right? So we over there, whatever, and we ain't biting for it, especially me, whatever. So I'm on the porch, right? Minding my business. And but just small talk, because I'm like, we just chilling, have a good time. So they start talking about, yeah, we trying to get somebody to get us some drinks or whatever, blah, 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 whatever. So we just like, whatever, right? So this one dude, he couldn't have been from there. He couldn't have been from DC, whatever, right? So he by himself though, whatever. So he moving around or whatever. So he see the bras or whatever. So he try to make his move, whatever. So he started talking to him, whatever, whoop, whoop. And so I'm sure that they probably was like, yeah, we try and get a section and get lit, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So the dude was like, I'm about to make it happen. Now, granted, he by himself, and the club is about to close in 45 minutes. So like it's like I don't know, like almost 3 o'clock. Around at like 2:30, 3 o'clock ish. About let's say 2:30, right? So club gonna close about 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Usually when people buy bottles or whatever and doing all that, it's like not early on, but like between like 12:30, 1 o'clock. You feel what I'm saying? Not at the end. You already like drunk and ready to tap out or whatever. You know what I mean? Now, or if you been buying bottles since you got there and then you still whatever, but not like, oh, well, you decide you just want to get a, like, it just looked crazy, but whatever. So the dude was like, yeah, I'm about to go, whatever. So he's by himself and there's two joints over there with him, right? So, and we just kind of just around. So we over there, whatever, and, just seeing what's going on. So they come through with the bottle, whatever. Do buy a bottle Ace of Spades, like one of the most expensive bottles in the club. Because most of the time, when people be buying, bottles, they buy Bel Air, you know what I mean, or Casa Negros, or whatever that shit is, or whatever. You know what I mean, like the trendy looking ones or whatever. Not no Ace of Spades, because that shit costs a grip. You know what I'm saying? So he bought a bottle Ace of Spades. So I'm like, oh, shit, whatever, right? So they brought the thing over. The table girls come over there with the big sign and all that shit lit up or whatever. And then, they whatever. And then they go get up out of there. So he pouring up the joint or whatever. And he not really like excited or whatever. He just there, just kind of just chilling or whatever. So it was just like, I could tell that he was trying to, like, he thought that was just all he needed to do to get him, and that was it. It wasn't like on some old, like, he just chilling, he minding his business or whatever, because I'm going to tell you the rest, and I can tell you that he was trying to do it to think that was going to get him, right? Not just on some old, yo, I just have the money, I'm chilling, I wanted to just get this for myself or whatever, and just whatever, because he could have been got that done early, whatever, and he would have been like drinking out of the bottle itself, whatever, just on some like whatever shit. But that wasn't the case. I don't even think he was even drinking. I ain't see him drink. But so boom, he poured the girls up some glasses or whatever. So I'm up there and talking to the girl. I'm like, okay, I see y'all big baller. Y'all got your, whatever. And she's like, it's whatever. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, that's crazy, whatever. So they drink like a couple glasses of that or whatever, and then pour up one more, whatever, and then walk off. And then they start talking to some other dudes or whatever, right? And the dude said whatever, so he just looked real sad, like on some Drake Marvin's Room type shit or whatever, right? And yeah, I should have put a picture of the I should have put a picture of the dude or whatever, man, because he went out sad, man. But I'm like, man, you did all that, spent all that money on that bottle, and you thought that was really, and look where it got you, looking all sad or whatever, no results. You get what I'm saying? So, like, you could have just did without all that. Like I said, he wasn't on some, oh, I'm just having a good time, whatever, whoopie whooping, you know what I mean, all that. And the girls, they didn't even really care that it was Ace of Spades. They probably didn't even know. They didn't even know. And that's where it tell you, like, some of these bros don't even know what the hell they be out here doing. They ain't even was excited to be like, oh yeah, like we really into it or whatever, and wasn't even trying to milk them for more. You feel what I'm saying? They probably think Bel Air is more than what they bought. They probably thought he brought some no-name stuff. They don't be knowing. But then if he would have had that, if he'd have bought a bottle of, or like 4 bottles of Bel Air and had a bunch of chicks around, then they would have been more excited than what they was when it was just them and the dude and nobody really looking at him because they want that attention. Now they would have been more excited because they'd be like, okay, we got some competition. Let's show these broads up. You get what I'm saying? Or just because it's more like the attention would have been more on them, or they would have had better opportunity to get attention. That's how the gypsies think. They like, oh, we in the corner. It's about the clothes. We got this one bottle, whatever, with this lame dude or whatever. Let's just get our drinks from him and get up out of here and move around. Or if it was like a bunch of dudes over there, whatever, then they would be like, or more excited, be like, okay, well, we got an opportunity for some attention from one of these dudes. That's how they be, man. So it's like, man, y'all got to stop with all this thinking that buying bottles is about to get these girls with them, man. I told my homeboy, I said, man, listen, man, you could be a car salesman and have the newest Lamborghini out and have it sitting on a lot or whatever. It should be able to sell by itself. But at the end of the day, if you as a person can't close the deal and say certain things to make that person say, okay, I want this car and I'm going to pay for it for the amount that you wanted to, ain't gonna matter. So all them buying bottles in the club and tables and all that stuff, that's only going to get the person closer to you to close the deal. But you still have to talk and communicate and be like, all right, this is what it is. Like, I know some dudes buy them bottles and do all this stuff to get a boost of confidence. But at the end of the day, it's not going to do you no good if you're not closing the deal. If you're not saying, all right, I am who I am or whatever, this is what I want, are you with it? So if you feel that you need that type of stuff or whatever to get you confident enough to say that, then say that. But it's not going to be something that you can just get, show it up or whatever, and they're just going to run to you and then just open their legs and just give you something. It don't work like that. You still have to be able to close the deal. And some of y'all just not understanding that. And like I said, when you buy that stuff, whatever is going to draw attention to you one way or another. You're going to get attention to these females or whatever. And you got to be able to talk, and you got to have some confidence about yourself that you can deal with that attention. Otherwise, if you don't, you're going to look like a mark, a target, where they're going to get over on you. And there's going to be one or two things. One, they're either going to, get some drinks and run. Two, they're going to butter you up to see how much more they can get out of you. Or three, they could say, oh yeah, well, he doing it up. He got some money. Let's line him up. And you don't know what could be going on. They might have somebody in the club that came with them, whatever, that be on that type of time. I've seen it. Easy, because it's like, yo, you just stumbling out the club drunk and doing all this or whatever, thinking that shit is sweet. And you're going to be looking sweet. And then afterwards, whatever, you get booked. It ain't nobody gonna know about it. You probably won't even remember because you're too drunk and you are so filled off of that horny water thinking that you about to get some and somebody got you. And it's so easy to do it out here, whatever. I see these dudes out here walking real gullible and it's just crazy. I mean, just off of the stuff that I used to do in the club. I mean, dudes used to be just walking away from the table, stuff unattended. I'm seeing crazy stuff. I'm talking about dudes leaving, be stunting with money and stuff, whatever, be leaving stacks, leaving money around on the table. People be going all unattended or whatever. Like, it's crazy. Coats be everywhere, whatever. Like, stuff can just be misplaced easy. And then, especially if you come in with some people, whatever, you don't know who's coming over there, whatever. I know them bras is pickpocketed and slide. They're easy. Shoot, and don't get me started on the bras is out here doing that because they can get booked too. What they gonna do? Chase you? They gonna run? They can't run in no BBLs. What they gonna do? Cost like man? By that time it's gonna be too late. They in the wind. So that's why I'm like, listen, man. I'm not saying that y'all can't have fun and do your thing, whatever, but it's gonna bring attention one way or another. You got to be careful and prepared for what comes along with that and how to deal with it. So if you get these girls coming over to you, whatever, you got to have boundaries and an expectation of, okay, well, if you're gonna be around me, what you trying to do? If you ain't about that, then you can go. And then maybe if you start noticing that some of these girls is only over there for that, then you make better decisions on if I'm going to continue to keep doing this or not. Now, if you want to be the sucker duck ass nigga or whatever to be doing all that and be all sympathetic and keep on feeding that stuff, and as long as you're getting what you want, then hey, do you. But as long as you know and analyze like this is what it is, that's just what it is. Now, again, some dudes just like to just have a good time and just be in a nice little, environment with, comfortable drinks around and people around them, whatever, and they can handle it. Kudos to you. You know what I'm saying? But now it just has to be just put out there like they are driving that in the clubs or whatever to just make money off of you. And they pressuring people to buy more bottles and do all this. You ain't doing it big. You ain't got no money if you ain't doing this and spending all this money or buying certain bottles. Hey, when you in that space, that's what comes along with it. So, hey, that's all I got to say, man. But yeah, y'all got to stop this, man. Like I said, that just buying bottles or whatever and spending money on you, that's not going to close the deal automatically. You're still going to have to talk to them and have some gift of gab and some type of confidence to talk to them. And stop buying bottles every week and every month or whatever if you're not closing no deals. Like you shouldn't have to do that in the first place. But if you doing all that and you still not getting no results afterwards, that makes it even worse. And you need to be locked up in a horny hospital. And I'm gonna keep praying for you, and I'm keep praying for these kids because that's not an example you want to set for these youngins or whatever. That when they get 21 or whatever, they got to spend all this money and do all this to get some attention from somebody because it's not. And the attention that you're getting is really not that important. And sometimes it might be the attention that you really don't want, or more than you can handle. So that's all I got to say, man. So like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. If you agree, disagree. If you had some experiences up in the club, you've seen something, whatever. If I'm tripping or whatever the case may be, if I'm hating, you know what I mean? Let me know, whatever, man. Like I said, I got a couple more weeks left in Facebook jail, whatever, and then I'll be able to share the link, whatever, and all that. But, if you subscribe and you watching, just let me know, man. All right, I'll be back in a little bit or whatever. I might go up on another topic, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Hopefully I can get it done tomorrow. But, yeah. It's your boy King Moses, man, live from the porch, man. It's all for the know, not the show. I'm out.